name is Kyle Peck. I'm the head volleyball coach here at Gulf Coast State. I'm about to go into my 5th year. I was born in Dodge City, Kansas, and I lived there until I was 7 years old, and then we moved down here to Panama City. I grew up here. I have an older brother, 2 years older, a younger sister, 15 months younger, so we're all compact within about a 3-year span. Grew up here, like I said, moved around a little bit, Callaway, Springfield, over to Panama City, Lynn Haven. Went to Mosley High School, graduated in 1993, and then went to college in Alabama. In my early years, it was just being outside doing things, not necessarily organized sports. I didn't really play any organized sports until I got to high school. But I was always outside, riding the bike, running around with friends, climbing trees and just, running everywhere. And I loved the Olympics when I was little. That was my lifelong goal, was to be an Olympian and just run around the track, because that's what I always like to do, is just run. And started playing basketball in high school and ran track in high school. And then my later years of high school, I started playing volleyball and played a lot on the beach, and then played more indoor when I got to college, and continued with the sand and indoor kind of semi-professionally after I graduated from college. I've been playing for years, and I moved away doing other coaching jobs for about 10 years, and then I moved back here in 2008. And there really hadn't been any, other than just recreational beach volleyball, there hadn't really been anybody to just kind of step up and have tournaments and make it organized. And I just kind of inserted myself and kind of started small. I think in 2009, I believe, was the first one I had. And the first couple of years they were a little small, and I tried to have multiple tournaments. And now it's kind of developed into just one big tournament in June, the Panama Jack Summer Slam, what we call it. And it's been growing for the last 4 years. This was the 4th year we've had it, and I think the first year we had maybe 12 teams, and we had 50 teams this year. So it's growing pretty well. It's growing pretty well, all the way from adults all the way down to 12-year-old kids. So it's really nice to have the game growing like that. It was just really random chance. I was living here, and I was a personal trainer for the first 3 years out of college. And a friend of mine, my college roommate in Miami, he had just got a job coaching at a high school, and asked if I wanted to come down there and help him. And just on a whim, I said okay, and just to try something new. And spent that year down there coaching high school, and I was just hooked on it. And that's what I had to do. From then on, I knew that's what I wanted to do, and spent the last nearly 15 years doing it. I was at Mercer University before I came here, and then we had some family problems, and I came back in 2008 and worked at HealthPlex as a personal trainer for 2008, 2009, and then 2010 this job opened, and hometown, college coaching, and I just jumped on the chance, and I'm still here. My first 3 years, we competed hard with Pensacola, but we just couldn't seem to put it all together to win, and that was 3 years of frustration. And the girls are here for 2 years, so they're here, they're frustrated, they leave, and I've been here for 2 cycles of that. So I don't know, last year's team, we had a couple of transfers that came in that had good experience, and we had a great freshman class, and really great athletes that I have no idea how I got to come here. But we were really, I want to say lucky. We were lucky to have the team put together, but they were just a very skilled, very experienced group. We were very physical, and it was really nice to get that quote-unquote monkey off of my back about winning the first conference championship, like you said, since 2007. And now along with that comes the expectations of doing it in this year, not only from the outside world, but even more so on myself and on the team. First of all, you got to have talent. There's a lot of quotations and a lot of proverbs and whatever about teamwork and all this, but if the other team is physically better than you, then it's going to be hard to win. That's first and foremost. I think we have some pretty good talent. And, there has to be some chemistry because it's such a small space. There's 6 people in there, and you have to be able to communicate. And, we've been practicing for 2 weeks now. We have another week of practice before our games start. And, you just have to get used to the person next to you, in each rotation, timing, and, there's just a lot of practice and behind the scenes things that go into being successful, not just the talent, but using the talent to maximize it and, run the type of team that we want to have. Going back to last year, we had some very strong vocal, physical personalities that were just, you knew who they were. This year, we have some strong personalities individually off the court. I think on the court we have more newcomers than we have returners, and our returners, they're more leaders by example. They're not overly vocal, get in your face. We had a couple of those last year, and both of them have their merits. Catherine O'Meara, returning middle hitter, and Kelsey Williams, who's a returning setter, both all conference, led in a bunch of national statistical categories. They're more leaders by example, and and that's also part of my job they are freshmen and sophomore. They're 18 and 19 years old, so it's kind of a trial and error thing as far as becoming a leader. They're not just going to jump in and be leaders, where at 4-year schools you have, seniors and juniors who have a little more life experience. And so it's, by the time they leave here, I feel like they're prepared physically and mentally, which is good for the school that's getting them, not so much for me. But it's nice to be able to prepare them to be future leaders and future great athletes. Try to set a high standard. I have a very high standard for them, and I'm much harder on myself than I am on them. We're not as big as a lot of the schools we play, so we have to rely on precision and quickness, and we can't afford to make little mistakes, so we have to be more perfect than other teams. And succeeding for the sake of succeeding, if someone doesn't achieve something, then you can give a punishment, but then they're just trying to succeed so they don't get punished. I'm trying to instill succeeding for the fact of getting that good feeling of succeeding. Only time will tell. I think we're doing that for the most part, but we're not going to know, until 5-6 years down the road, because we've all been there. We don't learn our lessons until it's after the fact. College football, I would say college football, and the NFL is right behind it. My favorite NFL team is the Denver Broncos, and I don't really die hard for any college teams. I root for Florida schools. Depends on who they're playing. If they play each other, it just depends on the year. There's not a lot of time away from volleyball. Away from my job, which is the volleyball coach, I still do play a lot of sand volleyball, and I do a lot of recruiting, I guess, which is my job, but it's more fun to me to go out and find players. I play a lot of volleyball, spend time with my family and my friends, and going to the concerts, or even if I'm not playing volleyball on the beach, I like to go to the beach and hang out. Kind of a relaxed lifestyle, I would say. I guess my heroes and my original inspirations were my two parents, my mom and dad, who have raised me tremendously, and I thank them every day for the person they made me into. A lot of times my team inspires me because what they do is physically hard, mentally hard, and I see them every day, and it takes a lot to make an impression on me and to inspire me. But when I see them get something, or they understand something, or they move on to a school they wanted to continue their education, it's very inspirational to me.